This is just a quick, casual overview of working with the new Google Sites. I'm going to start with new here to start my site. I'm going to go to more, and now Sites is right here in Google Drive. So I'm going to click that, and right from the start, you're going to see a much more simplified interface than what we had in the old Google Sites. Everything I can insert into my page appears over here on the right. I can click here to create or manage other pages as I make them. Over here, I can pick themes. As a matter of fact, let's pick one. I'll do something different than what I have here. Let me go to level. Okay. And then everything else we kind of just do right inside the page. So we can give our site a name here. And you can enter the site name. And of course, as you do in other Google documents, you can just click on the title and it pulls it right from your page. I can change this image, and I can either select an image from Google, or I can upload an image from my computer, which I'm not going to do. You can do that. Another thing is when you change your image, it adjusts the screen for you. Let me show you. Let me get this one here. And watch what happens over here on the right corner. See those sparkling things there? It's actually adjusting the text color for the readability of the image. You can shut that off if you don't like it by clicking it, but that's how it works. Now, adding content is crazy simple. My favorite way is to simply click on the screen, or actually double click. So if I double click right on the screen, it brings up these sets of tools. And if I want to add text, I can add it. And we're pretty limited with our text editing capabilities, but it does keep everything nice and consistent, and it makes everything pretty simple. I can also change my alignment and delete this. Now, what this does is it creates like a panel for you to work in. And as I add more things, it will continue to add panels. I'll show you what I mean. Right now, I'm going to, let's put an image next to that. So look at this. I can take this column and just drag it over here because I might want to put more text down here. I'm just going to throw in some gibberish there. And I'm going to insert an image. Again, I can just double click and I'll add image, and I'll do a Google search for an image of some kind, and we'll put in, like a moose or something like that. Notice they can reside side by side. I'm going to talk a little more in depth about how these things work later and what these panels actually do. I can also change my emphasis by changing backgrounds to these segments, and it's only on the segment. And you can actually add an image as a background, which I will tell you not to do unless you're very careful about the type of image it is, because it can cause a lot of distractions. And I can just continue on with this. If I want to add something from my Google Drive, I can click something here like this, and if I want to put in, say, a presentation, I'll just do insert, and now I've got a presentation. And I can resize it and move it to my various different places. It's just as easy to put in YouTube, a calendar, or other types of things. I can throw in a divider if I like, just puts a little horizontal rule on there for me. And it's pretty much that simple. By the way, the drive is subdivided here by these various different things like docs, slides, sheets, etc. If you want to sort of filter your searches for the various different things you want to add. Another thing I didn't show you is that I can change my header type from banner, which is the default, to large banner, which is even bigger, or title only, which is smaller. I'm going to go back to banner and leave it as it is. And let's take a quick look at pages. In pages, I can add a second page. And now it makes a new page. And it usually just defaults to a smaller header type when you do that. So if I wanted to make a page of useful links for my students, I could put in some text. And if I wanted to link to Stockton University, I can select and create to make a link, and put in the URL and apply it. And there's my text. I can preview my site by clicking this eye. And as you can see, I've got home and links. And you can see that the links appear here. That can be edited as well if you're not happy with it. And when I'm done previewing, I can click this X. But before we do that, let's take a look at this. Remember these columns we made? Those can be subdivided into ways that this would be viewed on different devices. For instance, this is a preview of what it looks like to view it on a phone. This would be an iPad, and this would be a desktop computer. I'm going to close out my preview, and I'm going to show you my link settings. Here are my links, right here on the top, home and links. And if I click here, I can do side navigation if I like, if I prefer the way that would look. And if I preview, now you'll see that I have things on the side. Let me close my preview once again, and I'll show you a couple other little tiny things here. You can add editors, collaborators, and when I want to finally make this ready for the world, I'll just click publish. When I do, it's going to ask me to give a name, which actually becomes the URL. Also, if you're using a school Google account, it may default to restricting people to only your school. I can click anyone on the web if I want to totally make it public, or I'll just keep it maybe here and see if it will allow me to. If that name had been taken, it wouldn't have allowed me to publish, but now I can, and I hit publish, and I'm done. And that's how fast and easy it is to make a site.